Welcome back to the hub of Canada Chit Chat, the Experience Alberta show with Andrea Horning. It is season 3, episode 11 of the A Travel Talk Show. I am your co-host, Greg Girard of the A Canada Marketing Group. My beautiful co-host beside me tonight is your top 2023 Canada Adventure Seeker Influencer, the great, the one and only Andrea Horning, aka known as her undercover impersonality, is Adventures with Ange. Welcome to the show once again, Andrea Horning.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me tonight, Greg. I'm excited to share some more of my favorites from Alberta with you today.
Excellent. And hey, are you guys got snow over there?
It was plus 14 yesterday. It's all gone.
Oh my God. What's going on out there, eh?
We get Chinooks. It's nice. It's toasty.
Yep. So this live Canada Canuck 100% broadcast is beaming down to you from the ehCanada satellite. This satellite, we have put all our pennies and dimes into it. It's held together by maple leaf syrup and duct tape, and we're proudly hovering it over the great city of Banff, Alberta, Canada. You can watch our live shows on Facebook and YouTube. And this week we threw in a little bit of a twist. We're going to be airing it on LinkedIn because we want to see what the high and mighty CAO's got to say about our wonderful down home show. So tonight we're talking with the great Alberta Adventures with the great Andrea Horning, and she's going to share with us some adventures, and she's also going to share with us some of her bucket list destinations. So maybe Andrea, you could start us off by giving us a couple teasers about your two adventures we're going to be talking about tonight.
All right. Well, as you mentioned, where the satellite was hovering over Banff. So we are heading into Banff for something that you can only actually see for a couple weeks out of the year, which is kind of cool. And then we'll carry on from there, and we're going on a road trip. So I hope you have your bags packed. We are heading from Banff National Park. We're going to take the highway to Jasper National Park on the Icefield Parkway.
Okay. So I guess we should start off with the Banff highlight, since that's where we're getting our best reception from our duct tape satellite. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Banff snow days, I believe. And while in the green room munching away on Alberta beef and sipping down on some of that wonderful craft beer, which is helping us get over the flu here, a little bit of herb is going to help us get there. You said it was running until February 4th at this Banff day, and there's so much to do in Banff during the winter tourism season as well. So maybe give us a lowdown of what we're about to see as you put a little video together for us.
So yes, it was supposed to be running until February 4th, obviously weather dependent. I did mention we were at plus 14 yesterday. So unfortunately, they had to take the snow sculptures down, and they are gone for the year now. Yeah, I know, but it is an annual event. So mark your calendars for next year. It's always the last couple weeks of January into February. This year it was January 19th to February 4th, but I just checked before we got online, and they are gone now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we're going to give them a big, huge, whopping ice teaser for next year, because if it's hot this year, usually we got the luck of the Irish and we get a nice cold one next year. So let's give them a little bit of a teaser here. I got a video, and maybe what we could do, Andrea, is you could walk us through this beautiful event. And here it comes.
All right. So downtown Banff turns into a little fun snow playground, especially during snow days. Obviously, Banff is known as a winter destination, but there are ginormous snow sculptures located at various locations around town. And artists come from all over the world actually to do these, so that's really neat. There's little warming stations. All of the shops are open too, so that's really cool. And it's not just snow sculptures. There's lots of other events going on. So if you've ever heard of skijoring, that's something that you can check out while you're there. It's a pretty unique event where horseback riders will pull skiers or snowboarders behind the horse. And the snow sculptures are cool because if you actually get there near the beginning, you can see them creating them, and you can chat with some of the artists, and they're always seem like they're having such a good time and putting on a show for all of us, which is fun. Another area of downtown Banff and part of snow days is their snow zone here, their snow play zone. So you can try out fat biking, snowshoeing, you can go tubing, there's ice slides, lots of fun stuff. And at nighttime, everything is lit up, including the snow sculptures. So you can head out in the evening and still enjoy it. We
Mhm.
got lucky this time. I went with mom, Adventure Seeker Carrie, and Little Seeker, and we got to see them finishing up the owl one, which I thought was really neat to get to see. I personally like to go during the beginning to see them making them. I've been many years since I've moved here, and they're always different. It's just really spectacular to see. Definitely something to check out.
I love
Um,
that picture.
all right, I had to throw that in here. So if you're near Banff, that's Bow Falls Frozen right there. This is the day use area. It's about 4 minutes outside of downtown Banff, just over the bridge. And it's beautiful and open year round. And a little tip if you're going to head to Banff for snow days is head there during the week. You can see throughout my photos that it's not very busy. Banff can get pretty busy. So if you head out there on a weekday, you might find yourself enjoying it a little bit more, finding easier parking, getting better pictures.
I don't know if I'm correct on this, and I don't even know if anyone can help us. Maybe in the chat room, you can help us, all you whiz kids in there. Is there a snow sculpture also in Lake Louise? Do they have one in Lake Louise?
So theirs is called Ice Magic, and
Okay.
they do ice sculptures. So this year is the
Hmm.
first year, well, I think since 2020 that they've put it on. There's still been a few throughout the years, but not their big competition they usually do. And
Mhm.
they have a big ice castle on the lake and a big skating rink. And so, yes, if you have time, it runs pretty much the same duration of snow days. So you can head out to
Wow.
Lake Louise. The other thing is the Banff Winter Carnival, which is actually where snow days kind of comes from. Um,
Okay.
Banff Winter Carnival is something that started all the way back in 1917, which is
Wow.
part of what actually made Banff a world-known winter destination.
Hmm.
So if you head to Cave and Basin National Historic Site, they put on what they still call the Banff Winter Carnival, so you can watch videos and see a bunch of history of all the really neat wild Canadian winter things they used to do back in the early 1900s, because it's some pretty wild stuff to see. So I definitely recommend taking a trip over. And that actually runs till April 1st. So you can still
Okay.
go and catch the Banff Carnival end of it at the Cave and Basin site.
Okay. And what about Skajoring? Maybe for us neophytes, give us a little bit of a rundown what the heck Skajoring is. I know, but I'm sure that not everyone that's watching knows. So maybe tell us what that is.
Yeah, I had no idea what it was before I moved to Alberta, that's for sure. And
Mhm.
then when I heard that Banff did it, I was like, oh, I got to go out and check this out one day. And so I did last year, and they closed a strip of downtown Banff, the street, and they'll put ski jumps and snow jumps, and professional horseback riders will pull professional skiers or snowboarders, and they'll do tricks and all kinds of crazy jumps, and it's pretty wild to see.
That is cool. That is. I
Actually,
guess you could even. I guess that's even something like on the lakes when you're pulling a snowboarder behind a. It's not as natural, of course, but they do that with snowmobiles on lakes. You could pull them behind that. I know we've seen a couple of those crazy people out there winging and rounding our lakes. And again, with the lakes, and you know this because you're an avid ice fisherman. That's pretty scary right now with the fluctuation in heats. Right, we got to be pretty smart when we're walking on these lakes. Right.
yeah, ice safety is super important, that's for sure, knowing what you're getting into.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. Thank you. You can have all your comments online. Please keep them coming. I see there's a lot of ice sculpture people, snow sculpture people, and they're all getting all psyched up about it all. And yes, I know the winter's been a little bit weird this year. So, from my experience, you get a weird winter. Next year is going to be snowboard heaven year. So we'll get a lot of sculptures, snow sculptures, and hopefully we can get out on our hills. Because I know on our hills out here in the West Coast, we got snow, but then you've got a lot of brown patches on the lower levels. So again, make sure you're careful out there, people. Snow is great, winter is great, but we also got to be smart when we're out there. So Andrea, one of the other things that we definitely want to talk about besides the snow days, and this is sort of like your bucket list item, I guess, is when we're exploring like Banff National Park in Alberta and experience it. The Icefield Parkway is sort of like the Trans Canada Highway of the Rocky Mountains, I guess is a good way to put it. And it's very popular for all ages because you can drive and then you can get off at all the trailheads because there's a ton of trails along the route. But you can also drive and you're still going to get a lot of beautiful scenery. You're going to see a lot of magical events. And even if you pull over at one of the many rest stops, there's still quite a list to do. So maybe you could share with us a little before we show this wonderful and beautiful video you put together for us. If you could maybe give us a little bit of a cheater on what is this Icefields Parkway that everyone seems to want to talk about.
Excuse me. So the Columbia Icefield Parkway, also known as Highway 93, runs from Lake Louise to Jasper. So it's pretty cool because you get to go through Banff National Park as well as Jasper National Park.
Mhm.
Over 200 kilometers long. It's a double lane highway and it's open year round. And it has made lists, I'm sure of it, as one of the most beautiful drives, most beautiful views in the world. So definitely
Okay.
worth checking out.
Okay, so I think what we're gonna do is Andrea has put together this beautiful little video about the Parkway, and I gotta apologize if we're both sniffling and coughing because we are both on a super recovery mode from the flu. And but hey, we're persistent. We're here. We're gonna do the job. We're gonna get the job done because we are the extraordinary radio host of a Canada Travel called the Canada Adventure Seekers. So here's Andrea's video.
All right, so we're going to take a tour down the Columbia Icefield Parkway, as mentioned. And I do recommend going rain or shine because you're not going to get the rainbows without the rain. So don't let the weather deter you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Athabasca Falls is Alberta's most popular waterfall. It is located near the Lake Louise side. One of the main features of this road is the amount of waterfalls. That's probably my favorite part of it. The amount of hiking trails, as Greg mentioned, is endless. This one, the Valley of the Five Lakes, is on the Jasper end of the highway. The trails are all well maintained. They're all very different looking, no matter where you are. Sunwapta Falls is my favorite waterfall. That you can see just a few steps from the parking lot. But if you have time and you're able to, there's an additional like 1 kilometer hike down into the valley that gives you all these beautiful views of the canyon, and it's like the waterfall just never stops.
That's stunning.
Right? It's gorgeous. I've taken some of my friends down here. It's just beautiful. And
Mm-hmm.
I included Tangle Creek Falls because as you'll see here, how close it is to my vehicle, you can see that massive waterfall. So like Greg said, you don't even really have to get out of your car to be able to enjoy a lot of what this strip of road has to offer. The views are just spectacular, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Look at them. Unbelievable. And I think one of the nicest things too is like you said, a lot of these waterfalls they're not that hard to access. They're some of them are like 200 foot 250-meter kilometer trails, some are from the side of the road, some even might be, a kilometer. But if you're willing and able, it's very worth it.
Exactly. There's endless opportunities and lots of places to stay too if you wanted to. You would have just seen a wilderness hostel that we stayed at, Mosquito Creek. So no power, just like dorm style setting, just in the wilderness in the bush. That was really cool. They'd said that a mama grizzly and her baby had been walking around there. So you never know what you see. But there's lodges as well as campgrounds. And then the Athabasca Glacier is along the Columbia Icefield Parkway. So that's the glacier behind me there.
Mm-hmm.
The sign showed where it was in 1844 and how much it has receded back since then, which is pretty wild. But there's a lot of excursions you can do from there. The Columbia Icefield Skywalk would be one. You would go to that building across from the Athabasca Glacier and it would bus you down here. You can't park right at the skywalk. You have to go up to the building and they'll bus you back. Lots of really cool information along the way. The views are awesome if you're not afraid of heights because you're walking along the canyon the whole way. And it's really neat how it's set up. It's like a big circle one way, so you can go through the circle more than once. Unfortunately, it was really sunny, so you're not going to get the view through the glass. But where you see all those people standing there is the glass floor. So right there is what you would be seeing. And it is a four-season road. It is closed sometimes, obviously, while they maintain the avalanche zones and stuff. But you can check Alberta 511 and they'll give you any up-to-date conditions on the road. But it's absolutely something that I think anybody that has the opportunity should experience, whether you can or can't get out of the car or have time to get out of the car.
And do they? I know I might be dating myself here, so I apologize to all my friends, basically telling our age, but they used to be able to take those big monster buggies right onto the glacier. They don't do that anymore, do they?
No, I think they do.
Do
I
they?
think they still have
Okay.
that. Yeah, that's the same spot where I went for the ice or the skywalk that you would do the glacier run.
Mm-hmm.
Um, There's down at the bottom, you can do the hike to the bottom of the glacier, which I've done before. Back in the day, you used to be allowed to touch it. You're not allowed to touch it anymore. And then up the top, as far as I know, they still do the big tank truck that goes up to the top there.
Yeah, yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, and the other thing too is that the skywalk there, it's deceiving because the video doesn't really give it justice, right? Because it really takes you quite a bit way out there.
Yes, yes, it really does. Like you're jutted out pretty far out into that valley,
Yeah, yeah.
mountain valley.
So we got a lot of good compliments here. Coralie says she has done the tour on the glacier. Braggart Coralie. And we also like to say hi to Karen Joyce, who says she loves the Athabasca. We've got
Karen.
Colin. Yeah, of course, we've got Mama Seeker. I'm sure Little Seeker's watching out there. Hello, Little Seeker, and everybody out there. So we've got a lot of really good comments out there, and it's really good to see that everyone's back. And we hope you were all well in this winter season that we are all trying to navigate at our best. So this time, just a couple things I wanted to talk to you about, Andrea, is some of the things that are happening in our industry are a little bit disturbing. And we sort of just want to, Andrea, just give a little shout out and give a talk to. But Andrea, with travel in the province, there's a lot of posts where we go, and there's a lot of restaurants that we're seeing getting posted on the Travel Talk community. Highly suggest people to tune into that as much as you can, because that's real people doing real adventures in real time. But however, starting in January 19th, 2024, tourism businesses have sort of been given a curveball, let's say. They've been asked to repay what's called the CEBA loans. I'm sure you've heard of them. There's nearly 250,000 small businesses who received the CEBA loan. I'm sure some of you watching have received it. And it's been very trying because after 2 years of COVID, we have a lot of our friends in the restaurant, in the small business, the bakeries, the tourism industry that service them are really quite in a panic mode because they're being asked to pay back these $60,000 loans. And if they do, yeah, they get 20,000 of it as forgive, but they still have to pay back the 40,000, and they don't have it. We're actually, I've talked to a lot of, I did a little bit of research there, Andrea, and we found we have a chance of almost losing close to 30 to 49% of our small businesses. And in a small town where I live, if we lose any of our small businesses that cater to our tourism industry, it's devastating to the downtown and to everything that's out there. And the fact is, if they can't repay it, they have to pay a 5% interest on that loan. Now, we usually don't get too political on our show, but today we are, because this is for a shout out to all our friends in the industry who are a little bit afraid right now of what's going on. I just wondered, what do you think, Andrea, of what you're hearing out there about small businesses and the challenges that we're facing?
Well, it sure sounds like a bit of a trap right from the beginning to the end, from what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen, what I've read, what I've heard. Um, I mean, 49.2 billion is a lot of money. That was nice of them to give out a loan when everything was forced to be closed down. But and it's nice that they're doing some loan forgiveness. But I don't understand where the pots of money, how it's distributed, perhaps not evenly. Like you said, I'm not exactly sure what these businesses are going to do when they were given a deadline, and then if they didn't make it, get the tax added on top. Like I'm just
Yeah,
it just sounds like a trap. Like I don't like
yeah,
it.
and I do, and I already talking with the businesses that we deal with on a daily basis across the country. We're big supporters of small towns. We're super supporters of small tourism business because big tourism businesses don't need our help. Big tourism businesses, they hang out with the big tourism associations. They're all in the same room. They're all in each other's back pocket. And it's the small guys that are paying the price right now. So I just wanted to give a shout out that Canada is supporting you guys. Canada is here for you guys, and we wish you all the best in the struggles that you're doing. So please stick in there, grit your teeth. And if you are a traveler in Canada and you are watching this show, please, please, please support the small businesses. Go to the individual bakery shop, go to the individual coffee shop. Try to stay away from the chains. Try to support these little guys, because everything we do for these little guys is we are helping them pay back this humongous debt that they are put on, And it's important we stick up for small businesses. And man, oh man, you guys have our support. And I know when I'm on the road and everyone I talk to, we're on the road, it's important we shop at these small businesses. Tourism is huge to a lot of our economies. All our small towns, almost 80% of our small towns rely on a tourism season. So please get out there and support them. That's all I'm going to say. We don't want to get too into it, but please make your effort. And thank you, Jamie, for exactly. Jamie says it all. Support small businesses. We need them, and we definitely do need them. So if we can have an effect on one person to spend their $20 in an individual bakery, restaurant, coffee shop, gift shop, then we've done our job. So let's have a great winter season and let's have a great summer season, but please keep that in mind. Is there anything you'd like to leave us there, big Andrea Horning, who was a top 2023 influencer of the year last year? Is there anything you want to close out with?
Not really. I do want to say hi to Karen. We have a fishing derby coming up, so maybe I can share that with you next month. That'd be really fun.
Woo! Where's the derby?
Buffalo Lake, that same one that we went to last year.
Okay, I remember that one. That
Yeah,
was
by
pretty
Stetler.
cool. Yeah. Okay. A quick note to everyone: if you would like to support Andrea Horning and the other numerous seekers, we're almost at a big. We've got quite a few involved all across Canada. You could tune in and see them every day. You can interact them every day on the Canada Travel Talk community. You just go to ehCanadaTravel.com and click on Travel Talk, and you're off to the races. Support these people. They are avid adventurers. They share their knowledge, their experience, and their fun. And this is the only travel website in Canada that is a big supporter of our seekers and a big supporter of small towns. And we are private, we are not government. So please support us as well. Again, I just want to let you know what we have coming up next week. Remember, you are what you adventure. So plan smarter, book better, and stay longer with Canada's award-winning planning website, ehCanadaTravel.com. You'll join us next week. We're going from West Coast to East Coast. Coralie Rennie will be joining us. That will be Wednesday, February 7th, 7 p.m. Newfoundland time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Mountain, and 2:30 p.m. Pacific. My co-host next week from Newfoundland will be Coralie. Coralie's going to be sharing some facts, some tips, and some exciting bucket list items and hacks about travel and adventure in Newfoundland, Canada. So again, everyone, take care. We love you. Travel safe, support small business, and may the maple leaf be with you. Peace out, Canada.
Bye.